Good day, everyone. So the big day has come yesterday, and we have AC Evo released early access, and as expected, it has issues. Although I think the physics and the force feedback is very good. It's sort of like Assetto Corsa Competizione, but a bit more detailed. You can feel the weight even more, half because road cars are more weight shifting, and the other half is probably a bit better tire model. I felt the tire model pretty decent. You can feel the slides better. But the VR performance is meh at the best. One big issue is that DLSS is not available as settings. I try to force it in because it is available on desktop mode, but if you set it on desktop mode, then hop into VR, it just bugs out and says not working stuff. If you try to use FSR, then there are temporal artifacts. So right now we are without temporal upsampling. Sadly, that will really hurt the look to performance ratio. But let me show what you can do to be at least playable in VR. So we hop into MetaQuest link, and here you first want to go to settings, general, and you have to click this set MetaQuest link as active for OpenXR runtime. This is important, otherwise the game won't start in Oculus VR native. Then you go to devices, your Quest, graphic preferences, and here you have two options. You either go to 120 Hz and use AVS forced to have 60 FPS. This is good if you want to record or stream, but if you don't, you rather go to 72 Hz, which is 72 FPS, and as always, this slider is maxed out. This is not this number is not a super sampling, because if you switch around the frequency, you can see it changes number. This is a completely unmeaningful number. The devs said you need to max out the render resolution in order to have the closest to native render resolution of, so it can distort to native render resolution for the panel. So 72 Hz max. Save, restart everything. So the next step is we want to hop into the Oculus Debug tool. This is normally place.c program files Oculus support Oculus diagnostics, and there's the Oculus Debug tool. This is very important as I put it into, like, pinned it into my start menu, because with Quest 3 the OTT doesn't work, so you have to use the debug tool, and you have to set your FOV tangent every time you start up your PC. The per pixel and FOV tangents are not like saved. Everything else is saved. You should set it up as I did. Very important is PC asynchronous space warp is disabled unless you want to use that 60 hertz trick from 120. Then you use AVS enabled. Ignore the 45 fps, that's just text. It will be 60 hertz. If you are on 72, put it to disabled. Default curvature H.264. Encode resolution width should be 4128, but this is sadly overridden due to the Nvidia encoder. One of them cannot do higher than 4096, but still we set it as, if they fix the settings, the drivers, this will be native encode resolution. Bitrate could go up to like 800. You have to copy the number here. I am fine with 680. there were some slight encoder or decoder issues above that. Link sharpening, I like it on quality. Normal sharpens it more, but it has like horrible halos when you have proper settings. And I mostly use in ACC where I am about 1.6 pixel override. So the biggest performance gain you can get here is visible vertical cropping. The first numbers is horizontal, so left to right side. We keep it at 1, which is 0. And the second number is the up to down cropping, and we want to crop it heavily, around 32 to 36. The lower you go, like if you can bear lower than 36, then go for it. I kind of dislike under 32, and I've got used to 36 because I'm streaming a lot, and that's where you get sort of 16:9 or 21:9 ratio, which is good for streaming. Yeah. This will be a bit weird first if you never use visible cropping, because you will see black bars top and bottom, but try to think about it. It's like wearing a helmet, and you really, really don't need to see your legs and the roof of the car in game. And like you can see the whole screen window, I mean, and the dashboard around 0.3. So 0.3 to 36 is definitely a sweet spot, and we need all the performance gain we have. The other big performance gain, sadly, is we have to lower the pixel per display pixel override. This is basically subsampling this time, not oversampling. And dependent on your GPU, it will be around 0.5 to 0.75, maybe 0.8 with a 4090. But yeah, I am on 0.65 with the streaming for 90 hertz. So 75 is like probably a good spot for my 4080. These two numbers has to be set up every time you start your PC once, unless the Wolfgang bugs. Then you have to close the game, type in something else like 38, press enter, type in 36 again, press enter, and start the game again. Usually that works. We should also check the Nvidia control panel because there was one big bug. So I just add the program, or whatever you drive, Steam apps, common, Assetto Corsa Evo, Assetto Corsa Evo exe. You add it as different programs, so you can set up things. These are my settings. Low latency mode ultra is advised. You can gain a tiny bit of performance with texture filtering performance and anisotropic sample optimization to on. And always set the visual render frames to 1. That's very important. And I've got the bug because in ACC, you could leave vertical sync to on. It didn't matter. With most of the games, it doesn't matter. But with ACE, you have to set it off because somehow even though I had a 120 hertz screen, it snapped to 60 hertz, probably because I did not reach 120 hertz, but FPS, but still it should be completely disconnected from the screen, but set it off so you don't have that issue. Apply and exit. And now, if all these are set, we can start AC Evo, press play, launch Assetto Corsa Evo in OpenXR mode. If this window does not come up, then go to properties and general, select launch options. Probably one of them is selected. You can, if you only play in VR, you can select VR. If you ever play anything else, just keep it as selected. So play. I won't hop into VR. We can see the game in the screen. Okay, so we are in the game. don't mind the very stretched screen. That is because we are running FOV tangent, and yeah, this is how it is. We don't need this. The GUI always rendered. Like if you are in the car and there's some UI elements like tire GUI or other things, it will be rendered even though it's under the black bar. So don't worry, you will see out of the car and you will have all the UI and have better frame rate with the visual cropping. So for settings, sadly, upscaling doesn't work. FSR 3, if you set it, restart the game, so it really applies. It will have insane ghosting. If they fix that, or they add DLSS or both, which is the best, go for FSR or DLSS. Go for preset performance, whatever, which is around 50% render scale. And then you could basically double this per pixel ratio, and you render at this resolution. Then the game will do temporal upsampling, which uses previous frames to have better visuals. So that will solve many of the performance issues. But right now we have to use native, sadly. Multi-sample anti-aliasing, you can try 2 to 4 to have a bit less jagged edges. FXAA does a lot of filtering. Anisotrope filtering is low. You don't see with this amount of per pixel rendering, like 0.678 subsampling, you won't see that far that you can see it's anisotropic filtered or just normal trilinear, or it's just like 4 anisotropic, doesn't matter. Texture pool size, I like to keep it at high. At medium, it starts to look blurry for the close. Level of detail, it has to be high, in my opinion. At medium, the track, like the curbings, are super flat and it's just disgusting, like PS2 graphics. With high, at least you have some fidelity and it does not demand that much. Ambient occlusion should be low. Everything else is minimum. Low because without AO, the cars float even more. They are still even a bit floaty. No under shadows, really. Reflections low, shadows low, sadly. This is disabled. Half resolution screen space shadows. Again, as like ambient occlusion, to have less floating of the car. The models look more grounded. These are just post-processing. They are not really demanding. Motion blur is off, obviously. Motions mode, you can use multi. I did not see it use more or less performance. Like you need more higher performance to use it. But with multi, the movement is bugged. It's really fun because you can see the roll cage of the car and it has like real mirrors. You have to adjust the mirror, but you can. I will show you that. But right now, if you move your head, it moves weirdly and it's very off-putting. So I keep it at single, some resolution so I can see backwards, some distance so I can see backwards. And in the display, I went to like full HD. Everything is off, so it runs in a window, as you can see. But you can put it to full screen. It does not hit your performance that much. This helps a bit because a bit less VRAM built, but not much. Other things you can set up is keyboard and mouse camera. I find it very useful to, I think it's been by default, but not sure, the forward and backward. If you do this, your camera moves forward, backward a bit, but the GUI, the floating GUI, moves away from you a lot. So you can either don't have to watch a screen in the menu, which is like virtually 40 centimeters in front of you, which is super annoying. And also while driving, you can put the GIS far as it seems like it's blending sort of into the dashboard. So it feels a bit more realistic than floating in front of you 40 centimeters in the air. So I like it that way. And another useful thing is reset view. I set it as space. So every time your headset drifts a bit, you just look forward, press space, and it's set to middle again. And I think basically these are the settings you can done right now. Another big change will come if we have temporal upsampling. Until that, this is all you can do. So I wish you good luck. Have some fun racing, because otherwise it's pretty good. I enjoy it. The AI is a bit meh. They break very early, but yeah, it's a good base. I think ACE will be very, very good. It just needs some time. And I also going to drop in some teaser videos with different cars and tracks, so you can watch the results, what you can achieve. So good luck.